Let me do this. Oh, it's recording. Okay. So we have lunes, martes, miércoles, jueves, viernes, sábado, y domingo. Those are your 7 days of the week. Okay. So let's be practicing those. Let's go into the months of the year. Vida, can you tell me what January would be? Say it one more time. I couldn't hear you.
Enero.
Enero. Very good. Enero. Repiten, por favor. Enero.
Enero.
Okay, Carlos, February.
Febrero.
Okay, let's take it by syllables.
Okay.
Let's ready. It's fe,
Fe.
bre,
Pre.
ro.
Ro.
You got some R's in there. Febrero. Okay, so let's take this one slow because you need to hear every sound. Repiten.
Fe.
Bre,
Bre.
ro.
Ro.
Very good. Febrero.
Febrero.
Muy bien. Okay, March. Ana Rosa.
Marzo.
Try it one more time. Marzo. The Z in Spanish makes more of an S. It's not a really hard Z sound, so it's marzo.
Marzo.
Hear the difference? Marzo. Repiten. Marzo.
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 Okay. Maria, April?
April. Abril.
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 Abril. Repiten, por favor. Abril.
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 Abril. Okay, Estrella, May.
Mayo.
Mayo. You didn't say Mayo. That's great. Mayo. Muy bien. Repiten. Mayo.
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 Very good. Samuel, por favor. June.
Junio.
Try it one more time. Remember, J doesn't make a just sound. It makes more of an H
Okay.
sound.
Junio.
Very good. Okay. Junio. Repiten. Junio.
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 Muy bien. Okay. Ana Rosa, July.
I gotta get out my binder. I haven't been looking at them. I forgot this one.
Oh, okay. That's okay. Good practice.
Junio.
Very good. Julio. It sounds like the name, right? You've heard of Julio Iglesias or Julio somebody in Spanish, right? Julio means July. So, repiten, Julio.
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 Okay. Ana, August.
Agosto.
Muy bien. Agosto. Repiten, agosto.
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 Muy bien. Okay, Carlos, can you do September?
Septiembre.
Muy bien. Septiembre. I heard the I in there. Very good. Septiembre. So break it out. Septiembre. Very good. Repiten. Septiembre.
Septiembre.
September.
That's a long one. So septiembre. That's one to practice.
September.
Ana Rosa, October.
Octubre.
Try one more time. What sound does the O make?
Octubre.
What sound does the O make? Just the O by itself.
O.
O, right? So we're going to start with
Octubre.
muy bien, muy bien. Okay, octubre. Repiten, por favor. Octubre.
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 Muy bien. Ana Maria. Oh, no, sorry. I just combined two of y'all. Maria, November, please.
Noviembre.
Muy bien. Noviembre. Repiten. Noviembre.
Noviembre.
Muy bien. Estrella. December.
Diciembre.
Diciembre. Do you hear the I's in there? Diciembre. Diciembre. Repiten, por favor. Diciembre.
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 Muy bien. Okay. Everybody know pretty much their numbers? You know 1 through 10? Are you comfortable between
Yeah.
11 and 20?
Sí.
See? Pretty good. Let's just say them together, and we'll go into the larger numbers as we go through a lesson later on in the book. Okay? Uno,
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 dos,
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 tres,
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 cuatro,
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 cinco,
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 seis,
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 siete,
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 ocho,
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 nueve,
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 10.
diez.
diez.
I'm going to pause for a second and point something out. These are just little tidbits that you kind of need to know about the language. There's there's no such thing as a silent E in Spanish. So like for us, if we see an E at the end of a word, we just think it's silent. But in Spanish, you actually pronounce it. So like for the number nueve or siete, you still pronounce that E. Okay? So let's go on to 11. Once,
Once,
doce,
doce,
trece,
Trece,
catorce,
catorce,
quince,
quince,
16,
dieciséis,
16,
17,
diecisiete,
17,
18,
dieciocho,
19,
19,
20.
20.
Just so you know, the V in Spanish is a V sound, but if you hear Spanish speakers, there's a little bit of a B in there, okay? So if I were to say, yo tengo 20 años, do you hear a little bit of a B? My lips actually kind of come together like I would say a B. So just so you know, there's a little bit of a slight B whenever you're using the V sound, okay? You don't have to over-exaggerate it. I just want you to know, because sometimes you might hear it and you're like, oh no, that's a B, and it's really a V, okay? So, so like 20, if you actually watch my lips, 20, I don't just do 20. There's a little bit of a difference there, okay? But if you say 20, you're good, okay? Any questions there? Just want to review those, and we'll kind of be diving in a little bit more and actually using colors and months of the year and days of the week as we kind of get into the book. Okay? Any questions? Okay, so if I ask the question, ¿cuántos años tienes? Who knows what I'm asking? I want you to think about a couple things. I want you to pick out a couple of words. Años is very heavy on the Latin. ¿Cuántos años tienes? So, Ana Rosa, what am I asking?
How old are you?
How old are you? And what the literal translation is, how many years do you have? ¿Cuántos años? Años is years. Okay? So if I'm asking Ana Rosa, ¿cuántos años tienes? Literally, it translates, how many years do you have? But I'm asking, how old are you? Okay? So if I say, hola, Ana Rosa.
Hola. Hola, señor Lucy. Señora.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
14.
14, and you would end it with años. You would say, because you're like saying 14 years, okay? So, 14 años. Muy bien. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? So, think about what I'm asking. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? What words can you pick out of that? That sound familiar to you?
No, it's
Color. Favorito. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito?
What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color? Muy bien. Ana Rosa, ¿cuál es tu color favorito?
Morado.
Morado, muy bien. Y Ana Rosa, ¿en qué mes es tu cumpleaños? I have a voice in the background. Whoever, I don't know whose it is, but if you can do it while we're kind of talking, you can still hear me. That would be great. Thanks. Okay. Is there an extra kid in the room?
You gotta be quiet, Peyton.
Okay. Okay. So if I'm asking you, ¿qué mes es tu cumpleaños? Cumpleaños is what year do you, what mes is month, but cumpleaños is when you get another year. So it's your birthday, okay? So I'm asking you, what month is your birthday? ¿Qué mes es tu cumpleaños? When you get another year, okay? So how would you respond? ¿Qué mes es tu cumpleaños?
Marzo.
What is it?
Marzo.
I'm not sure which month that is.
Marzo.
Oh, marzo. Okay, it wasn't coming clear. Marzo. Very good. Muy bien. Okay, so we're going to start interacting with those questions, okay? So that's how we're going to be practicing your favorite color, how old you are, what month you were born, okay? So we'll be having those kinds of dialogues at the beginning of class, okay? So we can get really comfortable asking and answering those questions with each other and then also with me, okay? So that's how we're going to use those. Okay. So if you go to your grammar section, the first sheet is going to be talking, we're going to kind of talk about the parts of speech. And we're going to go into familiar versus formal, which I've already kind of touched upon, but I want to go through it so that it's really clear. Okay? First things first, Spanish is very similar to English in that we have nouns and verbs, like every other language, right? We have nouns, which tells us person, place, or thing, and or ideas, as well as your verbs, which are action words, okay? In Spanish, a noun, and I wrote it for you in Spanish, is a sustantivo. Okay, so you can read that now that you know your alphabet sounds and your phonetic. You can sound that out. Sustantivo. Okay. Now, something that you need to know about in the Spanish language is that sustantivos, nouns, have gender. Okay. They're either masculine or they're feminine. Okay. And we show the masculine with an O, and we show the feminine with an A, okay? We refer to the masculine with an article that we're going to talk a little bit more about, and the masculine article is el or un, okay? And when we're talking about articles, it's like using, for instance, a cat or the cat. Okay, we always, when we talk about a noun, we say the cat crossed the road or a cat crossed the road. Well, the article is either the a or the, depending on what you're using. Okay, and then your noun is the cat. Well, in Spanish, you would say el gato, okay, ends in an O, and so we use the article el. That making sense? Should I be writing? I can put it on a whiteboard. So let me see. Okay, so if I say el gato, I am saying the cat. Okay? If I say un gato, I am saying a cat. Whoops, I'm translating in Spanish. Okay. So in order to show that it's masculine, not only does the noun have an O, but it also has a masculine article, which is el or un, okay? If I am talking about a feminine noun, like the house, I would say la casa, ends in an A, okay? And I'm saying the house. And if I say una casa, I am saying a house. Okay? So all that's shown on your grammar sheet, how we differentiate between the masculine and the feminine noun, not only in its spelling and ending of A or O, but also with the article that we use. And that's something you'll get used to because we refer to all of our nouns this way. And so even as you're speaking, think about, is this a masculine thing or is it a feminine thing? Okay. We differentiate. I'm going to give you one more example. If I say el amigo, Samuel, do you know what that means? El amigo?
I guess
What's amigo? Are you familiar with that word?
sort of.
Okay.
I wouldn't call it formal.
No, it's not formal. But what is amigo?
Isn't it friend?
It is friend. So it would be the friend. Very good. So I would say, this is the friend, el amigo. Or I would say un amigo, which is a friend. Okay? So I could say, this is a friend of Carlos. Él es un amigo de Carlos. Or I would say, él es mi amigo. Okay? He is my friend. Okay? So is amigo masculine or feminine?
Masculine.
Masculine, right? It's also neutral. So for instance, if I say amigos, this is plural. This just means friends in general. Okay? However, if I am speaking specifically about a girl who is a friend, she is la amiga, the friend, right? And this is feminine, okay? Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then you can also say una amiga, which is a friend who is also a girl. Okay? So that just goes on to explain the masculine and the femininity in the nouns and how their articles work together. Okay? Okay, let's move on. So I've given you some rules as far as the gender is in that top section. And we'll go through those really quick. Nouns ending in O are usually considered masculine. Un libro is a book, okay? A book. Una mano is a hand, okay? Nouns ending in A are usually considered feminine. Una iglesia, that is a church, okay? Un día, a day, okay? Most nouns ending in R, N, or L are usually considered masculine, okay? These are just handy notes. You'll refer to this when you come across vocabulary to figure out if it's masculine or feminine, but it will become second nature in a lot of different ways really quickly, okay? But I kind of want you to know, because we're going to be coming across vocabulary. If it ends in an L, like papel, which is paper, you need to know if you use el papel or la papel, okay? Or un papel or una papel, but it's masculine, so we're going to use un papel. Most nouns ending in D, ción, or ción are usually feminine. La pared. Pared is wall, okay? La pared. Most nouns ending in E or Z can either be masculine or feminine. It just kind of depends. These are the exceptions to the rules, okay? El lápiz, it's just masculine. You just kind of have to know that. And we'll point those out as we go through the vocabulary, okay? Okay, so verbs, everybody knows, is an action word. And verbs are verbos in Spanish, verbo. And this is where we're going to get into conjugating. Specifically on Wednesdays, we're going to work on conjugating. And what conjugated means is that the verb changes based on who you're talking to or about. Okay? So has anybody ever done Latin conjugations? Raise your hand. Anybody? Okay. Is anybody familiar with verb conjugations? I know a few of you. Freya, Ana Rosa. Anybody? Okay, this is going to be fun. I like conjugating, so it'll be fun. Okay, so we're just going to talk about pronouns for a second. I refer to myself. I don't always refer to myself as Senora Lucy. In fact, I refer to myself as I, right? So in Spanish, I is yo. Yo. So when you refer to yourself, you refer to yourself as what?
Yo.
Yo. That means I, okay? If I am talking to you and I am referring to you and we are friends or we're talking one-on-one, then I refer to you with a tú. Okay? So when I ask you, ¿Cómo estás tú? I'm asking, how are you? Okay? So if I'm addressing you, I would use tú, and you would do the same. Okay? And actually, well, I'm not going to confuse you yet. Okay. The next one is he, she, or you formal. So if you're talking about each other and you say he likes the color black, okay, you would refer to he by using él. Él le gusta el color negro. Okay? Él. If you're referring to she likes the color purple, you would use ella le gusta el color marrón. O morado, perdón. Morado. Okay, so that's your he, she pronoun. And just like in English, every time you're not going to say, Carlos went to the store. Carlos did this. Carlos sat down. Carlos stood up. Carlos went to the bathroom. Carlos, crossed the street. You would say, he went to the store. He went to the bathroom. So this is where you're using your pronouns in place of whom you're talking to. Okay, so there's the usted. Formal. Is you formal. So that's where you're talking to me, you would say, ¿Cómo está usted? How are you? And you would use the formal because I'm your teacher. Okay? So even now, when I engage and speak with my grandmother, I always use usted out of respect. I would never use tú with her. Does that make sense? Okay. You can use tú with your friends and with your siblings and, in your family, in very casual environments. But the moment I say hello to my grandmother, how are you doing? I use the form usted. because she's my grandmother. And she'd probably slap me if I used tú. Okay? So you just know that by using that word, you're automatically giving respect to the person you're talking to. Okay? So you've got I, you, he and she, and you formal. Okay? Yo is myself. Tú is you. He, she. Él, ella. Right? And usted. Okay. So those are all the singular pronouns. But we don't always speak in singular pronouns, do we? We also engage in we. We go to the park. Okay? We is said by nosotros, nosotras. What do you notice about these?
There's a
Feminine and
feminine.
masculine.
Go ahead, Samuel. What?
I said feminine and masculine.
There is a feminine and masculine. So if you're talking about a group of guys and the guys say, hey, we're going to the arcade, okay? You would say, nosotros vamos a jugar, okay? Nosotros, and you're referring to your group of guys, okay? If the girls say, we're going shopping, they would say, nosotras vamos a comprar, okay? So they would automatically, just by what you hear, would know that it's a group of girls and a group of guys, right? However, if you're in a mixed group, okay, you would still default to the masculine. So you would say, nosotros vamos a la clase. We are going to class, okay? So nosotros can be neutral, can be general, just kind of like how we come across even in the Bible when God is talking to man, right? And he's talking to quote unquote men, that's how it translates, but it's talking about the people, right? All inclusive. This is true here too in Spanish. So if you use nosotros, it can be mixed, but it also implies masculine, okay? So, and there's nosotras. The next one is vosotros, vosotras. This is you all, like you all are going shopping. You all are going to the arcade. Again, there's a masculine and a femininity here. Same rule applies. Vosotras would be feminine, meaning if the whole group is going and they're all female, you would use vosotras. If the group was all male, you would use vosotros. And if the group is mixed, you would use vosotros. Here's the thing with vosotros. It's really only used in Spain. Not very common in any other country, okay? So we're going to use it because it's there, but it's not going to be something that we use all the time, okay? We will conjugate it so that you're familiar with it, but it's not, we probably won't use it a lot in our conversation, okay? The times I've been to Spain, I've heard it spoken there. Among my family's Central American, never use it, okay? So it's more of a cultural thing. And then you have plural for they and you all formal, okay? So if I'm saying they are going to the store, I would use ellos to imply that they're all guys or that there's a mixed group. I would use ellas if the they are all female, and I would use ustedes for you all formal. So if I'm talking about my grandmother and my aunts and uncles going to the store, I would say ustedes van a la tienda. Okay, so that's how that translates, okay? And we're going to get really familiar with the verb, so if it doesn't make sense right now, it will, I promise, okay? Okay, any questions? Does any of this sound a little bit familiar? Kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, one of the things I want to point out here that the form of the verb indicates the form of the subject. So I can say, yo voy a la casa, and I am saying, I go to the house. Okay, I go to the house. Or I can say, voy a la casa. Voy, it already implies that it's me going to the house. Okay, so that's where the verb conjugation comes into play. And we'll do some of that starting next week for sure. Okay. The next part, if you flip onto the second page of your grammar, we've got familiar versus formal. And I'm not going to read this to you. This is just, I'm just going to point it out that you have here. But it's talking again about the familiar form of speaking to people and writing and saying things is tú. Okay. I've also put on there some very casual questions that you would ask a friend or a family member. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Qué tal? You've probably heard that if you've been around Spanish-speaking people. ¿Qué tal? It's kind of like, what's up? Okay. ¿Cómo te llamas? What's your name? You meet somebody on the street or you're asking each other, what's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? That's how you would say it. Then there's the formal way of asking and using the usted and ustedes. ¿Cómo está usted? How are you doing? But I'm obviously automatically giving respect, and that person knows that I'm acknowledging that they're either older than I am or, you know, I'm just giving them respect because it's the first time I've met them. Okay. ¿Cómo están ustedes? How are you all? Okay, if I'm talking to a group. ¿Cómo se llama usted? I'm asking someone in authority or that I need to give respect to. What is your name? Okay. I already went through the indefinite articles, which is the a or the an, like we use an apple when a word begins with a vowel, right? You would use un or una. And then you have the definite articles, which is the singular, the or the, el or la. Okay, and then there's the plural to each of those, and we'll kind of come back to those. Okay? Okay, so I wanted to get you familiar with those two things mainly because we're going to start rocking and rolling with verbs pretty soon, and I wanted you to be familiar and start hearing some of these technical aspects of Spanish so that you're kind of clued in. Okay? So we've got about a little bit less than 10 minutes. Does everybody have their books handy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you turn to page 2? I don't know why mine is. Page 2 real quick. Okay, we're going to talk about saludos. Saludos are greetings. So this is when you engage with somebody and you're saying good morning, hello. So we've got Pedro and Roberto. Okay, I'm going to have Carlos and Samuel. Carlos, you be Pedro. Samuel, you be Roberto. How's that?
Okay.
Got it?
Mm-hmm.
I told y'all I was just going to throw y'all in there. Y'all can read now, so. Okay, so we're going to have morning greetings. So let's read what these are. Let's just follow along. Go ahead, Carlos.
Buenos días, Roberto.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás?
Okay, the yo that's in the parentheses.
Yeah, you
Do I-
can
do I
say it.
say that? Mhm.
You can say it or you can skip it because estoy is to be, which is a verb. And the estoy, the way it is, implies I.
Okay.
So that's why they have it in parentheses. If you say it, it's right. If you don't say it, it's right too.
Mhm.
Okay?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yo estoy muy bien, gracias. You too?
Estoy bien también.
Okay, estoy bien también. Okay, So just out of practice, what is buenos dias?
Good morning.
Good morning, good day. And so Carlos said, good morning, good day, Robert, right? And then Robert replied, good morning or good day. How are you? Okay. And then Carlos replied, or Pedro, estoy muy bien, gracias. I'm really good, thank you. And then he turns the response to kind of, out of respect. And you, like, how are you doing? You ask me, I'm going to ask you back, okay? And then Roberto replied, estoy muy bien también. I am very good too. Okay? Follow along? Okay, so let's talk about afternoon greetings. How about Ana Rosa and Ana? So Rosa, you can be Rosa. And Ana, you can be Señora Gomez. So Rosa meets her teacher after school in the afternoon. Miss Gomez?
All right, cut out for a second.
Oh, okay. Can you be Señora Gomez?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead and you start.
Buenos tardes, Rosa. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y cómo está usted, señora Gómez?
Bien, gracias. Adiós.
Adiós, señora.
Very good, very good. Okay, what are some things that we've talked about today that you see there?
The formal use of usted.
Very good. So when she asked, when Señora Gomez asked, she just said, ¿Cómo estás? That's just, how are you? That's a general, how are you? And then Rosa, when she asked Señora Gomez, she asked, ¿Y cómo está usted? Right? Automatically giving her the respect of teacher, right? Is there anything else that you see there? Anything new?
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes. So buenos días is good morning. Okay. Buenas tardes is good afternoon. Okay. Tarde, if you can probably hear the word tardy in there, means late, right? So tardes and tardy, that's kind of where you can link the languages together because our roots are the same. But tardes means that it's later in the day, okay? Tardy means you're late, right? So when you say buenas tardes, you're saying good afternoon, okay? It's a little bit later in the day. It's not in the morning, okay? And then we've got adios, which means
Goodbye.
goodbye, right? So hola and adios. Okay, very good. Everybody know what the word bien means? When we've said muy bien, what is that saying?
Very good.
Very good. If I just say bien, what am I saying?
Good.
Good. Muy means a lot of, okay? So if I say muy mal, I'm really bad. But if I'm just mal, I'm like, not so great, right? So mal is bad. Muy mal is really bad, okay? Okay, so let's go on to evening greetings and we'll wrap up with this. How about Vida and Maria? So, Vida, why don't you be Carlos and Maria, you be Señor Rojas. So Carlos meets his teacher one evening.
Buenas noches.
Say it a little bit louder, I couldn't hear you.
Buenas noches, Señor Rojas.
Rojas. Okay, make sure you sound that A. Rojas. Go ahead.
Buenas noches, Carlos. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. You
Y
¿Y cómo está usted?
Muy bien, gracias. Adiós.
Adiós, hasta mañana.
okay, you've got an ñ. So it's ma, ña, na.
Na.
Whenever you have that ñ in there, work it in there, okay? So ma, ña, na. Mañana.
Mañana.
Okay. We've got buenas noches. What's noches?
Night.
Night. Good night. Very good. And then hasta mañana is another greeting. Until tomorrow. It's like see you later. See you tomorrow. Hasta mañana. Okay? Okay, I think this thing cuts me off right at 10:15. So I'm going to say adios. Maybe not. Maybe it lets me go a little bit longer. Any questions? Are we going too fast, or do you feel like you're keeping up?
Keeping up. Good.
Following along?
I feel like I have to be reminded though.
That's okay.
Like next time we
Yeah,
meet.
same with me.
Yeah, and we'll kind of review this because we're going to be doing this kind of dialogue every day, especially at the beginning of class. Okay?
Okay.
So you'll get real comfortable with it, I promise. But we'll be talking about the greetings, how you introduce yourself, how you ask questions of people. One thing I want to point out, if you look at some of these questions, like ¿Y cómo está usted? That Carlos says, look at the upside down question mark. We put a question mark at the end of a question, which they do too. But in Spanish, you also use an upside down question mark at the beginning of a question. Okay? So that's just punctuation. Okay? And if I were you, go through these dialogues a little bit between now and Monday. Okay? The more you hear it, the more you say it and verbalize it, the more familiar it is to you. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, guys, have a great day. Hope you have a good school day, and we'll see you Monday. I'm just going to say practice your alphabet, your pronunciation, consonants and vowels. Go through some of the grammar stuff, and just practice saying the Spanish. Practice reading it, practice the dialogue, and that's your homework for Monday, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Y'all take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Adios.
Adiós. Hasta mañana. Hasta el lunes.
Adiós.
Bye-bye.